So Olivia and I we drove around a bit. We did find the cemetery and some other locations, but it's just too hot. It's too hot to do the phone. It's too hot for the phone and for us. We just want to get to the visitor center. But there's something on this plaque here that I wanted to show you that I saw last time, and I don't know if it's on. It might have been this bronze one. The early part of World War II. In the early part of World War II, 110,000 persons of Japanese ancestry were interned in relocation centers by Executive Order 9066, issued on February 19th, 1942. By the way, you guys, that number, 100, what did I say? 110,000. 110,000, that's not just this camp. There's camps around the whole United States. Manzanar, the first of 10 such concentration camps, and that's the point I wanted to bring out to you in my earlier thing, is that they are addressing on this official plaque, they are addressing this as a concentration camp, like they would address the concentration camps in Europe when it came to the Holocaust. And now I can imagine, I'm not an English professor, far from it, but I'm looking at the word concentration, like it was a concentration of like people. It was a concentration of Jews in Germany. It was a concentration of Japanese here. That's one thing I can imagine the word concentration is. But deriving from that word, it automatically sends that connotation of Nazi Germany concentration camps. This was by far not like those. Those were basically work, labor camps, death camps, extermination camps. They try to give people some semblance life. I'm not excusing it. I don't think it was great. We'll hope we never see it again. But when you look at this and use the term concentration camp referring to what happened in the United States, like I said in my earlier video, being at these locations here in the U.S. and going to the ones in Germany and reading those histories, it's a dramatic difference on what life was like in these camps. But the camp was rounded by barbed wire and guard towers, confining 10,000 persons, the majority being American citizens. So I think maybe the 10,000 was this camp specifically. And then it goes on to say, may the injustices and humiliation suffered here as a result of hysteria, racism, and economic exploitation never emerge again. California Registered Historical Landmark number 850. Plaque placed by the State Department of the Parks and Recreation in cooperation with the Manzanar Committee and the Japanese American Citizen League, April 14th, 1973. So this is a National Historic Site. Woo, I just did up too quick. Boy, it's hot. It's got to be getting close to 100 degrees out here. This is the where the cemetery is. But the inside where it's much cooler is going to have much more explaining. So let's just get in there for at least my sake. One thing that Olivia and I were contemplating is the buildings that we have seen on site. I know some of them reproductions. I'm not sure which ones were original, but Olivia just read the description thing, and the building that's now the visitor center and museum, it was an original building. Wow. Where you see that?
What it looked like, or the auditorium is one of the 3 original buildings remaining here.
Yeah, it says this auditorium was one of the 3 original buildings remaining here from Manzanar. So one of the 3. I'm imagining this one, the fire station, and probably another one. I think the lodging and the schoolhouse one I did, I think those are reproductions. Wow, okay, so this was like a community hall. Oh, closes at 4. Oh, closes in an hour and a half. I thought it closed at 6. All right, let's get in there and see what we can get done. So I think these are a representation of the camps. So you have Manzanar, California, True Lake, California, which I think is up to 395. That sounds familiar. So there's 2. This one was in Idaho, Minidoka. I probably pronounced that wrong. Wyoming, Hart Mountain, place in Arkansas, another one in Arkansas. Hope this is coming out of my camera because the sun is so glaring. Colorado. Amachi. Over here, Topaz, Utah. And 2 more. Arizona, 2 in Arizona. I think that's pronounced Gila River. I'm not sure. And then another one in Arizona. National Historic Landmark.
Oh, perfect. Yeah. You've never been in here?
Yeah.
Oh, you have been in here?
Yeah, I was in here. I did actually a video. I want to compare the video I did back then when I came up here on my motorcycle. There's a movie that Olivia and I will go sit in and that I recommend. So once you come into the main hall, this is a free site. I had my national park. I had my national park access thing available, but she says no, it's a free site. So when you come in, there's a gift shop area, and then you walk down this hall. There's a movie that loops, which I definitely want to see. Oh, here's where all the places were, by the way. This says assembly centers. And so Santa Anita was actually the racetrack, and I know I've been by there before. Oh, Olivia found the thing. So when we were driving around, all those buildings are gone. Wow. I think right there, I think that's the building we're in now.
Yeah, it is.
So that's the building that we're in now.
There's the entrance.
Do you see? Oh, and there's the entrance that we drove through. The 2 guard shacks. Can you see the cemetery? That was weird.
I think
It's not on here.
Oh, it's back there. I can see it.
Oh.
It's really tiny.
So we had to kind of meander around to get there, but there's that. I think that was the staff housing right there. We saw a sign for staff housing. But look at all those things. And like Olivia and I were saying, each one of these blocks probably had a mess hall, dining facility, cafeteria, whatnot. And I think that is the area where the cemetery would have been.
You can see the little white thing, but it's really tiny. It's
Oh.
behind the fence.
There it is. Good job, Olivia. So there's the location of the cemetery, which is not directly in line with it's not directly in line with that center building that we're in now. Okay, so there was a collection map I just showed you, but this is where the relocation centers were. Those are the 10. This looks like 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. No, there's 10.
Why was there so many in California?
Olivia just asked why were there so many in California. The only reason why I could think about so many in California is because California is on the Pacific coast, and there was a lot of Japanese immigration going on up and down the coast. So probably to keep them here, or for ease of travel or whatever, they probably had most of them here in California. Now that's my theory. I don't know for sure, but if I had a wag, I would say yeah. But there was 2 in Arkansas, so I'm either going to think they were picking very desolate places or places where they can transport the most with the least effort, the least logistics. This one talks about Hawaii. I don't know if this, I think this is just an example of the guard tower.
Was Martin Luther King alive during this?
Yeah,
He spoke on it?
yeah, I'm sure. So this talks about when they were dismantling it. I'm going to read it really quick and then I'll come back to y'all. So just in brief, what this talks about is after, so the last one's left November 21st, 1945 with $25 and a one-way ticket. And it talks about what happened to the structures here. Some of them was sold off, some of it was dismantled, other structures were moved. So there you go. Destroyed, dismantled, sold off for parts, moved to other locations. I just can't imagine. I mean, it was just so hot out there. It's nice and air conditioned in here. You know, so the war starts and they get sent off to these camps, but they didn't have the easiest starting over when they returned because there was still a lot of animosity. Even me growing up, there was still some derogatory comments and statements about people of Japanese heritage. This is very informative. We didn't start in here, but I recommend that you do start in here because they'll give you the map that'll tell you where you're going, help you with the automobile tour when you're driving around. We just kind of shot from the hip. Oh, what is this? This caught my eye, this thing hanging from the ceiling. I have no idea, what is that? Look like luggage tags or something. It kind of reminds me of like those exhibits in Auschwitz or Dachau where they had different rooms where they would just show you remnants of people's belongings. So if you wanted to do some in-depth, it looks like you can actually look up people who were here. These are the actual records. Looks like those are the flags of the 10. I don't know if any of these others have any kind of memorial on them at all. I would imagine at least they would have a plaque. I'm going to ask that question of one of the volunteers before I leave. E7. This guy was born in Glendale, California. I was born in Glendale, California. I think the hospital's name was Barron's. And then my brothers and sisters were born, I think, at White Memorial. Huh. So this is actually a garment. It's weird. This is actually a garment jacket of a soldier. I didn't get the whole story. I think this is the all-Japanese, yeah, the Go for Broke Battalion. It was comprised of all Japanese. I forgot the number. I used to think it was, the fort, there it is.
All of you Americans of Japanese descent have a right to be proud. You have demonstrated true Americanism and true American citizenship on the field of battle. You have realized the necessity of leaving your homes and your loved ones in order that you could destroy this enemy who would take from you the American way of life and the freedom.
So as I understand it, I might be wrong, but the 442nd Go for Broke Battalion, I don't think it was a division, it was a battalion, and they fought mainly in Europe against Italians and Germans. And as I also understand it, they never lost a single conflict they were ever in, and a couple of them actually earned the Medal of Honor. So if you want to further research on that, it's called Go for Broke 442. There's probably a movie about them. I kind of I captured a little bit of the dialogue that was going on.
We French had a fruit crates.
They made this on their own?
Yeah. All of this.
So Olivia just points out, she came in as exhibit hall. This was stuff that was left behind, that they were so ingenious that they made furniture out of fruit crates.
And those are shells, those necklaces. Ingenious.
Some of the most unique things I've seen is from people who were either civilians in prisons or POWs in prisons. They get very ingenious and utilize every single resource that they have available to them. I mean, geez, I would love to have that today. That'd be awesome.
Today, in 1943, the people of the United States are finding out that as America accepts its role in global war, they in their turn must accept new restrictions, new limitations.
So if you don't want to endure the heat, this is a good way to get a sampling of what life was like in those rooms. But actually, I think it'd be a very edifying experience if you actually went in those rooms and just felt how hot it was when we were there. And we didn't have to live there. We were only there for a few minutes. Oh, I think they're stuffing their mattresses. I can't say any of this really came from here. I think, oh, that did. That's all student work. Could I bring my pet to Manzanar? The Army would not let you bring your pet. Yeah, so you would not see a toy loan center in the German concentration camps. I think it's important to know the detailed history of each and understand neither one should be ever repeated. Neither one should ever be repeated. But it's also important to distinguish between the two for people that would just default and say, oh, well, and I've heard it. I'm just saying it because I've heard the argument where people say, well, we had concentration camps for Japanese too. Like, well, travel around the world. Go to the ones that are in Germany and in Poland and other places. Read their stories. No, they're called the same, and it should not be repeated. But they definitely had a tremendous difference in lifestyle and purpose. All right, so this is I just really wanted to get you guys a good idea, what the inside of the exhibit hall looked like. We'll probably. I'll wrap this one up. Oh, one thing that Olivia pointed out, and I didn't get a picture of it, but she saw one Joshua tree. There was one Joshua tree out there, and maybe if we see it on the way out, I'll take a picture of it. we're like, whoa, Joshua tree. And now they got a poster of it. So with that, I'll close by saying this is it. We're leaving Manzanar. We're headed back home. I'm not sure if I mentioned it earlier, but I didn't do the BDR I kept talking about, the back discovery road that I did on my motorcycle a couple of years back. That goes through the Alabama hills. That shows you the movie sites where movies such as Star Trek and Star Wars, Tremors, Iron Man, there were a lot of these movies were shot out there because the road was blocked off. We went to go around it and we came across a husband and wife with a little kid, maybe about 4 or 5 years old, that got stuck in the sand. We tried to dig him out as best we could. We couldn't. Olivia and I just went into town and we notified a tow truck company, got in contact with the couple that was stranded, and they headed out to pull him out of the sand. So we never did go that way, but yeah, I'm hot, I'm exhausted, ready to get into my own bed. I've been on the road for about a little over a week now, almost 2 weeks. So this is Manzanar, 1 of 10. So if you're ever up to 395, if you don't have a whole lot of time, it's a free exhibit. At least pull off to the side of the road, come in the air-conditioned building, take a look what they have in here. And then if you want to do the car tour and not get out, you can also do that too. All right, take care, everybody. We're gonna hit the trail soon.